everyone. Welcome back to day 4 of the 14-day yoga challenge. So glad you're staying with me. Before you know it, you'll be doing an entire yoga sequence. So as you can see, I am building from one pose to the next, and that's where we're headed here with day 4. So today you'll be learning downward dog. So we're starting out in our mountain pose. Dropping down into forward fold, planting our hands, stepping back. This is where we'll come into our high lunge, as I've shown you here, coming up just briefly. And then from there is how we step back to downward facing dog. So checking in with your downward facing dog, you want to make sure that your hands are hip width apart. Checking in, your head should be hanging nice and loose, right in between the shoulders. Feet can be slightly bent. It's okay if the backs of your heels are not touching the mat. Now there's a lot of action going on in this posture here. So you want to think about a string pulling you up here in your waist, pulling the hips and the spine towards the ceiling. Bending your knees as much as you need to, and then slowly straightening into your downward facing dog. If at any time it becomes too much for your wrists or your shoulders, you can always come down onto your hands and knees. As you can see, you pop right down. This is also a great way to gauge where you should be positioned getting into downward dog if you're on your hands and knees. So here we go, popping up, keeping the toes tucked. Sliding right into downward facing dog. Walking your hands back to your feet brings you to forward fold. Walking your hands out brings you to downward facing dog. So there you have it. Coming on up here, forward fold, and then slowly rising up into Tadasana, mountain pose. So there we have it. We've started with mountain pose, moving on to forward fold. Next is high lunge, and then after that, downward facing dog. 4 yoga poses. So stay tuned for tomorrow, learning day 5, our next yoga pose. Stay with me, folks. You're doing yoga. You're doing great. Namaste.